Okay, so I think we'll get started. Shabbat Shalom to everybody.
Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
And I hope we can have a Shabbat Shalom, given everything that's been going on in our world. What I want to say is it's been a rough couple of weeks, another week, another mass shooting. And we're going to devote a little time to remembering those who died this past week in the horrific killing of 19 children and 2 teachers. But first, let us offer some words of peace with Shalom Aleichem. And that, if you have your prayer book, it's page 142 and 24.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharit, Malachei Elyon. Mi melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem LaShalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Mahuni LaShalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Zeichem LaShalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
And Susie Copel is going to light our candles for us, page 120 and page 2.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahalik ner shel Shabbat. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Susie. And Jordan is going to lead us in the Kiddush, page 123 and 5.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei pori hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kishanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho be'ava uvratzon hinchelanu, zikaron lema'aseh bereishit. Ki hu yom techila lemikrae kodesh, zecher letziat Mitzrayim. Ki vanu v'acharta v'yotanu kidashta mechol ha'amin. V'shabbat kodshecha v'ha'ava uvratzon Inchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat.
Amen. That was L'chaim. So our Torah portion this week is the final Torah portion of the book of Leviticus, and it's called Bechukotai, or By My Laws. And the beginning is very similar, or part of it anyway, not the whole thing. Part of it is very similar to the paragraph from the Shema that the Reform movement excised from the service. It lists reward and punishment for obeying or disobeying God's commandments. Blessings abound to the faithful, curses to those who turn away from God. The curses are pretty awful. God says, I will make skies like iron. I will loose wild beasts on you. I will bring a sword against you. I will send pestilence among you. I will make the land desolate. Parents will eat the flesh of their children. The idea, of course, is to frighten people into obedience. But their chilling nature is such that in many synagogues, it's customary to read these curses in a very low voice. Commentators have noted that the section of blessings is shorter than the one of curses. But medieval commentator Ibn Ezra says that what the blessings lack in quantity, they make up in quality. I guess that's some sort of a consolation. And since rain is the very center of the blessings and curses, we need rain in order to have crops. And without rain, we're going to starve. Those are the promises or threats by God. Jordan has selected, have you ever seen the rain? And since we don't actually have that in our prayer book, I am actually going to share a slide with you.
Someone told long ago, there's a calm before the storm. I know it's been coming for some time. When it's over, so they say, it'll rain a sunny day. I know, shining down like water. I want to know, have you ever seen the rain? I want to know, have you ever seen the rain coming down on a sunny day? Yesterday and days before, sun is cold and rain is hard. I know, been that way for all my time, till forever on it goes, through the circle fast and slow. I know it can't stop, I wonder. I want to know, have you ever seen the rain? I want to know, have you ever seen the rain coming down on a sunny day? I want to know, have you ever seen the rain? I want to know, have you ever seen the rain sunny day.
Rabbi Ismar Schorsch points out that the audience for the concluding address of gods is the people as a whole and not the individual Israelite. What will be weighed in the balance is the piety and morality of the nation, which, if found to be wanting, will impact adversely on the fate of the minority of people in the community. To abide personally by God's call and God's will can secure one's well-being only if a sufficient number of others do the same. Hence the paradigmatic nature of Abraham's discourse with God on the fate of Sodom and Gomorrah. In other words, Abraham says to God, how many righteous members will it take to avert the destruction of a community? And throughout much of the Bible, the group takes precedence over the individual. The marquee actor in the drama is the nation. The Torah's legislative agenda is to forge a mass of slaves into a kingdom of priests and a holy nation, a beacon of justice and righteousness for an ever wayward humanity. And now I am going to lead us in the Chatzi Kaddish, which is page 263 and 145. And you can join me, although please stay muted. Yikadal v'yikadash shemei Rabbah, ve'alma divrach echutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon v'yomechon, uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala, uvizman kariv, v'yimaru, amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach, Le'alam ulal me'al maya, yitbarach, v'yishtabach, v'yitpa'ar, v'yitromam, v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar, v'yitaleh, v'yitalal, shemei dekudesha barichu, le'ela min kol b'yachata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damiran be'alma, V'yimaru, amen. And we continue with the Baruch Hu, the call to worship, on the next page.
Adonai HaMevorach, Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach, Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed, Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed.
Rabbi Rachel Barenblatt has written a poem based on our Torah portion and the various admonitions in it. She calls it Either Or. If you will follow my laws and observe my commandments, I will grant you rain in its season. You will eat your fill I will live in your midst. I will untie your tangles. Where there is rye bread, there will always be pastrami. You and your mother will remain on good terms, no matter what. But if you do not obey, if you break my laws and spurn my rules, if you break my covenant, I will set my face against you. I will shatter your glory. I will leave your boat becalmed. You will never find a good parking place again. You will poison the skies and your fields will not feed you. I can be infinitely more hostile than you, but I won't be. In the end, you'll realize I was here all along, waiting for you. Ahavat Olam is page 266, and the other page is 148.
Ahavat Olam Beit Yisrael Amecha Ahavita Amcha Ahavita Torah u'mitzvot Chukim u'mishpatim Otanu limadeta Otanu limadeta Al kein Adonai Eloheinu b'shachvenu uvkumenu nasiach bechokecha v'nismach b'divrei Toratecha u'v'mitzvotecha le'olam bo'ed ki hem chayenu v'horechi ameinu uvahem negeyomam v'layla negeyomam v'layla v'ahat chal tasir mimenu le'olamim Baruch atah Adonai Ohev Amo Yisrael Ohev Amo Yisrael
And the Shema is on the next page.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad 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 Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad.
Eileen is going to lead us in the Ve'ahavta, which is on page 268 and 150.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם בשבתך, בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Beautiful, thank you.
You're welcome.
Ruth Bryn has written a poem about our Torah portion. It's a kinder, gentler version of the one that is in the Torah. It's called Starlight, after finishing the book of Leviticus. The word, Rick Landis, do you have your hand up? No, okay, you're just waving hello. All right, hi. The words of our ancient tradition come to us across thousands of human years. Like the starlight in early evening that travels thousands of light years through space to come to us. We cannot read by the glimmer of starlight, and the star from which it came may have exploded in a shower of meteorites in an age long before we appeared on Earth. Moses disappeared on Mount Nebo, and the bones of Abraham and Isaiah and the others have long since disintegrated in the slow motion explosion of dust and decay. We cannot read by this starlight, clear and pure though it be. Yet sailors at sea have found their way home by the stars. Oh, let the navigators of our people remember the words of our tradition, shining out like a pure point of starlight in the gathering dusk. The Michamocha, the song we sang when we were liberated from slavery in Egypt, is page 270 and 152.
I've been waiting in the velvet sea. I've been waiting in the velvet sea. I've been waiting in the velvet sea. I've been waiting in the, I've been waiting in the, I've been waiting in the velvet sea. I've been waiting in the velvet sea. I've been waiting in the velvet sea. I've been waiting in the, I've been waiting in the Mi chamocha balim Adonai, Mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh nora tehilot O Sefer Nora Tehir safe LA. I've been waiting in the velvet sea. I've been waiting in the velvet sea. I've been waiting in the velvet sea. I've been waiting in the, I've been waiting in the Mi chamocha Balim Adonai Mi chamocha Nedar b'kodesh Nora tehilot O seifele Nora tehilot Oh, Saint Verlaine, I've been waiting in the velvet sea. I've been waiting in the velvet sea. I've been waiting in the velvet sea. I've been waiting in the, I've been waiting in the.
That wonderful version of Mi Chamocha is thanks to Amy Pearlstein, and it was wonderful to watch you smiling during that. Amy introduced that to us at her bat mitzvah. It's a song by Fish, and Fish has some Jewish members, and so we have this wonderful version of Mi Chamocha. Thank you so much for that. So David Frankel offers this insight into our Torah portion. Parshat Bechukotai, the last portion in Leviticus, focuses in part on the consequences of a lack of holiness and justice. As you know, I've just mentioned that it contains a series of blessing and curses that portend the rewards and punishment that will be meted out to the Jewish people in direct proportion to their observance of the Torah. Strikingly, this section of curses consists of exactly 49 verses. That number is 7 times 7. And it's also the number of days during which we count the Omer, which is a semi-mourning period between Passover and Shavuot, consisting of 49 days. This passage warns of the destruction of the land, the destruction of the nation, and the potential for Jewish exile. So as we count the last few days until Shavuot, perhaps we would all do well to examine how our words, our deeds, and our actions contribute to the building of a Jewish community and an American and global society. We should seek to promote unity among Jews and among all people, and should infuse holiness and justice into everything we do. By acting in this way, we'll demonstrate that we've put into practice the lessons of the Torah, and the Torah not only of this week, but of the past few weeks, including the Holiness Code. And that will bring ourselves and the world much closer to the ultimate redemption that awaits us all. Hashkivenu, may we lie down in peace, page 271 and 153.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu Leshalom V'amideinu Malkeinu L'chaim. Spread the shelter of your peace over us. Guide us in wisdom, compassion, and trust. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu L'shalom V'amideinu Malkeinu L'chaim. Save us for the sake of your name. Shield us from hatred, sorrow, and pain. Hashkivenu Adonai shalom. Ve'amideinu malkeinu l'chaim, l'chaim, l'chaim.
Now, Eileen is also going to lead us in the tefillah, which begins on page 273 and 155.
Okay.
No problem.
Adonai sifatai, sifatai tiftach, ufi agi, tehilatecha. Adonai sifatai, sifatai tiftach, ufi agi, tehilatecha. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak v'Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel v'Elohei Leah. Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor V'Hanora El Elyon Gomel Chasadim Tovim V'Konei HaKol V'Zocher Chastei Avot V'Imahot Umevi Geula Livnei V'Nehem L'Ma'an Shemo Be'ahava Melech Ozer Umoshia Umagen Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'Ezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor le'olam Adonai, Michaye hakol atah Rav lehoshia, Morid hatal, Michakel chayim bechesed, Michaye hakol berachamim rabim, Sohomech noflim verofei cholim, Umatir asurim, Umekayem emunato, Lishene afar, Michamocha ba'agevurot, Umido melach, Melech meimit umechaye, Umatmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman atah lehachayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, Michaye hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, Ukdoshim b'chol yom yahalalu chasela, Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Let's just take a moment of silent prayer as we look at this beautiful sunset that was shot by our cantor emeritus, Robert Sorotnik. And we continue with Shalom Rav, page 282 and 154.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha ve'akol yoshvei tevel. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha tasim le'olam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha ve'akol yoshvei tevel. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha tasim le'olam. Ki ata hu melech adon lechol ha-shalom. Ki ata hu melech adon lechol ha-shalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha ve'akol yoshvei tevel. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha tasim le'olam. V'tov b'neicha levarech et amcha beit Yisrael b'chol eit uv'chol shah bishlomecha. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha ve'akol yoshvei tevel. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha tasim le'olam.
Jan, I love your dog. That is so adorable. Is it a puppy? I have to show everybody.
No, she's almost 2.
Oh, she's adorable. What kind of dog is that?
She's half poodle, 1/4 cocker, and 1/4 Shih Tzu.
Oh, she's
Every
adorable.
Friday, she sits in my lap to listen, and she just
Oh,
pays attention.
how sweet. So nice to see that.
Thank you.
So we're going to take a moment to think of those in need of healing, whether of body, mind, or spirit. We think of congregants and friends and family of congregants: Jonathan Davidson, Ben Henderson, Kara Gilman, Rabbi Steve Robbins, Gloria Mangus, Leslie Ferris, Pamela Mangus, Johnny Sikat, Larry Miller, Martha Miller, Judy Richmond, Fernando Guerrero, Margie Aiken, Gary Droutman, Eileen Pritchard, Ann Craven, Marvin Young, Hava Bat Avraham Visara. And of course, we also think of those who were hurt in the shooting in Texas this week. And then I'm going to also look at people in the chat. Robin Kurland, Ruth Barrett, Eleanor Gailey, Patty Podnar, Pam Nahab, Kim Ko, Raul Camacho, Rick Burrell, Leo Schmidt, Judy Gordon, Alan Hurwitz. Anyone else? David Magnus. And please join us in the Misha Baroff, the Prayer for Healing, which is on the inside cover of your prayer books.
Misha Barach Avotenu Avraham Yitzchak veYaakov Mi sheberach imotenu, Sarah, Rivka, Leah, Rachel. May the one who blessed our mothers, may the one who blessed our fathers, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, and bless us as well. Bless us with the power of your healing. Bless us with the power of your hope. May our hearts be filled with understanding and strengthened by the power of your love. Bless us with the vision for tomorrow. Help us to reach out to those in pain. May the warmth of friendship ease our sorrow. Give us courage, give us faith, show us the way. Mi sheberach avoteinu, mi sheberach imotenu. Hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, and bless us as well. Hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, and bless us as well.
So we're now going to count the Omer, and you can find that on page 570 and 278. Hineni muchan umezuman, hineni muchan umezuman, hineni muchan umezuman, hineni muchan umezuman. Hineni muchan umezuman lekayem mitzvat aseh shel sefirat haomer. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al sefirat haomer. Hayom shnayim v'arba'im yom shehem shisha shavuot laomer. Today is 42 days, which is 6 weeks of the Omer. So as I mentioned earlier, the Reform movement removed a paragraph from the Shema that is very similar to what is in our Torah portion. Obey God and all will be well. It will rain. You will eat your fill. But disobey God and the skies will dry up. Your plants will not grow and you will starve. Now, the early days of the Reform movement were very focused on the rational. If a prayer on a rational level did not make sense or sounded horrible, it was changed or jettisoned. And even when the latest prayer book that was done about 20 years ago, Mishkan Tefillah, which is what we use every single week, even when that was compiled, there was still a resistance to this paragraph and it was not included. Now, we can understand why. We recite the Shema twice a day, and who wants to recount a theology like that one? Who wants to hear about God punishing us in such awful ways? But of course, we now understand that prayer is metaphor. While on a rational level, we don't necessarily believe in this kind of God, we can view this paragraph of the Shema, or what is called the rebuke in this week's Torah portion, as an environmental warning. God has given us the earth as a gift on loan. We are supposed to be stewards of this land. We should be taking care of it. Instead, we have shown the utmost disrespect for nature. We have allowed fossil fuels to be burned without many restrictions to the point where we have affected our climate. Now the earth is getting hotter, leading to more extreme weather, unleashing devastation in its path. And with increasing urbanization in the world, land that once soaked up rainwater is being covered in pavement, which prevents the rainwater from replenishing underground aquifers. So yes, all the Torah's predictions are coming true. People are starving from land that can no longer yield crops. People are drowning in floods and perishing in fires. We are running out of water. And wars are increasingly being fought over scarce resources. Here's how Rabbi Arthur Waskow puts it. In chapter 25, which is the one we've been reading, the Torah sings the delights of letting there be a year of rest in every 7 years. That was last week's Torah portion. Now in chapter 26, this week's portion, the Torah asks, what will happen if you overwork the earth and won't let the earth have a Sabbath? The answer is dire. Earth is going to rest anyway, but this time on the heads of human beings. There will be famines and fires and floods and exile. The people will be forced to travel as broken-hearted refugees into the lands of their enemies. To me, the chapter reads like a scientific paper from a climate scientist describing our lives if we continue to pour CO2 and methane into the atmosphere by burning fossil fuels. As heat-trapping gases, they will scorch all Earth with fires, floods, famines, and diseases, resulting in floods of refugees. Today makes us face a deeper, more horrifying truth. One verse in chapter 26 says that if we reject the spiritual, ethical, biological, ecological restfulness that we will end up with, and here let me quote, and this is still Arthur Waskow, this is quoting from the Torah, and if after this you will not hearken to me, you will eat the flesh of your sons, the flesh of your daughters you will eat. So says Rabbi Waskow, refusing to allow the year of Shabbat Shabbaton, the year of deeply restful rest, is not only an agricultural and economic and political failure, it is a spiritual failure that moves at once to the murder of our children. It is not only bringing on us the scorching heat that boils and broils with fury and fire, flood and famine and epidemics of asthmatic children and adults who cannot breathe, and epidemics of strange cancers in Black neighborhoods that have been deprived of enough political power to prevent the emplacement of oil refineries and fumes. Deaths of despair by overdoses of alcohol or fentanyl in white neighborhoods where the future has vanished. Make no mistake, gun violence is no mere aberration in America. This is again, Rabbi Waskow. The obsessive urge to dominate, to exterminate the indigenous peoples, to enslave the Blacks, to control the bodies and futures of women, to outlaw, imprison, kill gay folk, queer folk, trans folk, beyond the binary folk, to haunt and threaten and kill Muslims, to kill Jews, to rape and torture prisoners, to plow the prairie and poison the soil and the water and the air and wipe out the passenger pigeons. All this is endemic, epidemic to America. Another consequence of climate change, says Rabbi Waskow, is climate refugees. As people, particularly in the global South, find it more and more difficult to feed themselves, they are increasingly migrating to the North. Now, right now, there are about 80 million refugees in the world, but by 2050, it is estimated that 200 million climate refugees will have left their homes. How will we take care of them? Now, I know that immigration is a touchy and contentious subject these days, but trying to keep people out of our country is really not a viable option. After all, we too were refugees, trying to find refuge when almost no one would take us in. And of course, the Torah reminds us over and over to care for the stranger. Tonight happens to be the 42nd day of the Omer, the days we count between Passover and Shavuot, between achieving freedom and being worthy to receive the Torah. So on this 42nd day of the Omer, it is time to revoke Title 42. What's Title 42? It's a public health law that since March of 2020 has blocked people from seeking asylum at the US-Mexico border, ostensibly to prevent the spread of COVID-19. However, public health experts have stated from the start that the policy does not improve public health, and other entry restrictions have long ago been lifted as of March 2022. There have been over 1.8 million expulsions under Title 42. And by the way, it is an international right to seek asylum. On April 1st, 2022, the CDC announced that the Title 42 order would end on May 23rd. Today is May 27th, and it has not been lifted because since then, numerous legal and legislative challenges have been raised to prevent the policy's end, with pressure to continue Title 42 coming from both sides of the political aisle as midterm elections approach. Those lobbying to preserve this health order cite fears that ending Title 42 will lead to more people attempting to enter the US, despite the Department of Homeland Security outlining a robust strategy to manage arrivals at the border. The human cost of continuing to enforce this policy is high. For over 2 years, people denied entry under Title 42 have been forced into some of the most dangerous areas of Mexico, where they are frequently targeted for violence. Since President Biden took office, Human Rights First has tracked at least 9,886 cases of kidnapping, torture, rape, and other violent crimes against those impacted by Title 42. What can we do about this? Certainly not give up hope. We must take action. Want to take action? Ask Congress to stand for asylum and vote no on keeping Title 42 in place. Please believe it is possible to change what is going on in the world and to create the world that we'd like it to be. Now, again, we have gone through hell in the last couple of weeks in this country between the shootings in Buffalo, the shootings in Orange County, the shootings in Texas. And I would like to quote our friend, Rabbi Jill Zimmerman, who served in this congregation as a student rabbi, to say, what are the answers that we can give to the situation we're in? So she says, first of all, call your loved ones, especially teachers, even if just to say, I'm thinking of you today. Take some action. Donate to Moms Demand Action or Everytown for Gun Safety or the Brady Center. Plan to organize in your community, to elect people who will finally pass common sense gun legislation and outlaw these weapons of war. Weep, pound pillows, call friends to rant. Your feelings of weariness and anger are real. Take a nap or a break from social media if that is helpful for your soul. And then ground yourself with your feet in the soil or the sand and breathe. And finally, find a little bit of good. Pay attention to all that is good in your life. Last week, I talked about gratitude. This week, the character, the moral virtue that we're supposed to be practicing during the Omer is Yesod, which is foundation. We need a strong foundation, but we also have to follow last week's idea, which is gratitude. It makes you healthier mentally and physically. Say blessings for each tree you see and each kindness you experience. Go on a walk, play with your pet or your children. Remember, and if you would like more ideas from Rabbi Jill Zimmerman, you can go on her website. She's got lots of wonderful, wonderful ideas. And she does wonderful meditations for people who get on her website. So there's a lot going on and we can't handle it all. All we can do is what we can do, which is to keep ourselves as healthy and happy as we can and to do what we can in the public square. So I really invite you all to do what you can. If you have ideas, great. If you don't, I will give you some. So now our friend and President Emeritus, immediate past president, Amy Pearlstein, is going to share with us some announcements.
Thank you, Rabbi. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. First off, Rabbi Singer's adult ed sessions are wrapping up for the summer. The last session of our series on the book of Job will be held on Thursday, June 2nd at 6 p.m. The last session of Tanakh study until the fall will be on Saturday, June 4th at 10 a.m. This will serve as a Shavuot study. Please join us. The other item is about summer Shabbat onegs. The services will be moving to Fridays at 7 p.m. starting in July, first of all. We will be hosting potluck onegs with different themes throughout the summer starting July 8th. And the first theme will be bring your favorite cookie. So start looking for some new recipes. Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
What's your favorite cookie?
Anything with peanut butter.
Oh, okay. Wonderful. And we are going to try to have an outdoor service in the summer if it's not too horribly hot. And we're also going to have hopefully a dinner, which I will co-sponsor with the board, and various board members are going to help cook, which will be lovely. And I'm trying to make, okay. There we go. Okay, the Aleinu is on the inside cover of your prayer book if you have it glued in. Otherwise, it's page 586 and 282. And then we go on to page 588 and 284, and then to page 589 and 285. That's why we Xeroxed it and put it on the inside of your prayer book, because it's so confusing. Second paragraph, let's see, wait a minute. Second paragraph on page 586 and first paragraph on page 588. Aleinu leshabeach ladon hakol, latet gedula liotzer breshit, shelo asanu kegoye haratzot velo samanu kemishpachot hadama, shelo sam helkenu kahem vegoralenu keho hamonam, va'anachnu korim umishtachavim umudim lifnei melech Malchei Hamlachim Hakadosh Baruch Hu Shehu Note Shamayim Beyoser Aretz Umoshav Yakaro Bashamayim Ima'al Ushrinatu Zo Begavhei Meromim Hu Eloheinu Ein Od Emet Malkeinu Efesu Lato Kakatu Betorato Yadata Hayom Vehashevota Elevaveha Ki Adonai Hu HaElohim Bashamayim Mimal Ve'al ha'aretz Mitachat ein od kakatuv b'toratecha Adonai imloch leolam va'ed v'ne'emar v'haya Adonai l'melech al kol ha'aretz bayom hahu yeh Adonai echad Ushamo echad. The Talmud tells us that the world only exists because of the breath of school children. There is a lot less breath out there today. Here are the names. Uzziah Garcia, 8 or 9, was the sweetest little boy I've ever known, his grandfather, Manny Renfro, said. Jose Flores, 10, loved baseball and going to school, his uncle Christopher Salazar said. He was a very happy little boy, loved to laugh and have fun. He'd received an honor roll award hours before the shooting. Marie Jo Garza, 10, died trying to call the police on the gunman. Her grandmother, Berlinda Irene Areola, told the Daily Beast. She'd also won an honor roll award earlier in the day, and her father reportedly spent hours waiting for information before confirming her death. Javier Lopez, 10, was so full of life, his mother, Felicia Martinez, said. He liked sports, art class, and hamming it up for the camera. He was funny, never serious. And his smile, Martinez said of her 4th grade son, that smile I will never forget. It would always cheer anyone up. Navae Bravo, 10, was a 4th grader. Her cousin confirmed her death, sharing a photo of Bravo smiling in a blue dress. Our Navae has been found, her cousin wrote. She is flying with the angels above. Alicia Ramirez, 10, loved to draw and wanted to be an artist, her father said. Tess Maria Mata, 10, was confirmed dead by her sister, who posted on Facebook recalling Mata's contagious laugh, adding that the two played softball together. I'm confused because how can something like this happen to my sweet, caring, and beautiful sister? And I'm angry because a coward took you from us, Mata's sister wrote. Alexandria Ania Rubio, 10, was beautiful and smart. Her mother, Kimberly Mata Rubio, wrote. Hours before the shooting, Mata Rubio said she went to her daughter's honor roll ceremony and watched her receive a Good Citizen Award. We told her we loved her and would pick her up after school, Mata Rubio wrote. We had no idea this was goodbye. Leila Salazar, 10, used to sing along to Sweet Child of Mine by Guns N' Roses on the way to school, her father said. McKenna Lee Elrod, 10, was found dead in a classroom. Her older sister confirmed. My sweet, innocent baby sister. My heart will forever break for you, my love. J.C. Luavanos, 10, was killed along with his cousin and classmate, Jaila Silguero. A cousin of theirs said they always had a smile on their faces. Jaila Nicole Silguero, 11, was a delighted, energetic, lovely little girl who enjoyed making TikToks, according to a page that her family friend made on GoFundMe to cover her funeral expenses. The morning of the shooting, she reportedly asked her mother if she could stay home. Eliana Eli Garcia, 9, was the second eldest of 5 girls. She wanted to be a teacher, loved the film Encanto, and dreamed of wearing a purple dress to her quinceañera, her grandparents said. Elihana Cruz Torres was also killed in the massacre. Anabel Guadalupe Rodriguez, 10, was a 3rd grader, her family said. She was in the same classroom as her cousin, Jacqueline Cazares, when the shooter came in. Jacqueline Jackie Cazares, 10, was in 4th grade. She was killed along with her cousin and classmate, Anabel Guadalupe Rodriguez. Maite Juliana Rodriguez, 10, was a sweet, smart little girl, her family member wrote in a GoFundMe page to cover her funeral expenses. Rogelio Torres, 10, was among Tuesday's victims, his relatives said. Miranda Mathis, 11, attended Robb Elementary with her brother who survived the shooting. She was killed in her classroom, her parents said. Eva Morellis, 44, was a 4th grade teacher at Robb. Her aunt, Lydia Martinez Delgado, told the Post that Morellis was married to a police officer. Their daughter just graduated from college. She did all she could to live a long life, Delgado said, and here it was cut short. She reportedly helped her students climb out of the window before Ramos shot her. Irma Garcia, Morellis' co-teacher, was also killed in Tuesday's attack. Her son, Christian Garcia, said. She taught at Robb Elementary for 23 years and had 4 children. She sacrificed herself protecting the kids in her classroom. She died a hero. She was loved by many and will truly be missed. And I believe she's the one whose husband died of a heart attack that same day, leaving behind 4 children. Sherry Fleischman asked me if there was a prayer to be said for these children. And I found one, and so I've asked Sherry to read it. And Sherry, we can actually see you now with your beautiful cat.
Well, this beautiful cat just caused me grief and I've lost it off my cell phone. So
Okay,
I
you know
don't know
what?
where it went.
I can share it with you if you'd like on the screen, and then that way you can read it from the
Please.
screen, okay?
Because I did have it up until about 5 minutes ago when he jumped all over it, my phone.
Here we are.
Okay,
It's called Victims of the School Shooting at Robb Elementary School, Uvalde, Texas, by Rabbi Naomi Levy.
our hearts are breaking, God, as we mourn our innocent children and their teachers. The loss is overwhelming. Send comfort and strength, God, to grieving parents, to siblings, family, and friends in this time of shock and mourning. Shield them from despair. Send healing to the school children who are lost and frightened, whose eyes witnessed unfathomable horrors. Ease their pain, God. Let their fears give way to hope. Let their cries give way once more to laughter. Bless us, God. Work through us. Turn our helplessness into action. Teach us to believe that we can rise up from this tragedy. With a renewed faith in the goodness of our society, shield us from indifference and from our tendency to forget. Open our hearts, open our hands. Innocent blood is calling out to us to act. Remind us that we must commit ourselves to prevent further bloodshed with all our hearts and souls. Teach us perseverance and dedication. Let us rise up as one in a time of soul searching and repair, so that all children can go to school in peace, God. Let them be safe. God of the brokenhearted, God of the living, God of the dead, gather the souls of the victims into your eternal shelter. Let them find peace in your presence, God. Their lives have ended, but their lights can never be extinguished. May they shine on us always and illuminate our way. Amen.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And I'm going to read the cottage list. So we offer our condolences to Lila Basham Costellos on the passing of her husband, Earl Costellos. And we're observing Shloshim for Saul Eppelbaum, father of Marcelo Lavi. And are there any other people today who are observing either Shiva Shloshim or the first year of mourning? Judith Cohen, first year. Elena Archibek Farris. Edith Tanizaki, first year. Bob Pearlstein, first year. And we are observing yahrzeits this Shabbat for Charles Hunt, Donald Kaufman, Martha Weber, Louis Bachman, Gary Herman, Betty Kellner, Beth Gershon, Bertha Goldeck, Esther Ashwell, Victor Harbour, Jamie Harbour, Wilma Dahan, Nina Weiss, Rose Stein, Bessie Rubin, David Maines, Sharon R. Martinez, Nancy Silverman, Rose Falk Sohn, Daniel Archibek, Yoine Stawkowski, Sam Miller, Adelaide Selma Goodman, Adolph Baumel, Arthur Goldberg, Ben Boasberg, Marvin Blackman, Benjamin B. Sklar, Rabbi Joseph Eisen Atkin. And if you have any names to add, please do so in the chat. Ben Saludares. Anyone else? We, of course, think of those who perished in the Holocaust and have no one to say the mourner's Kaddish for them. Now, I'm going to share with you a mourner's Kaddish that is written following the shootings. So we can, if you want to join together and you want to unmute, please feel free to do that. Yikadal v'yikadash shemei Rabbah. Life is a volley of bullets. Be'alma divrach
Time
Time is a bleeding wound. B'chayechonu v'yomechonu v'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael. Houses of worship, schools, shopping malls. Ba'agala u'vizman kariv. It seems that no one is safe. Imru. God, these words tumble from my tongue. Yehei Rabba mevarach ve'olam u'almei almaya. Marbles in a bowl overturned. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. I don't want to praise. I hadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal v'yidkudshah. Just wanted to stop. Words, bullets, headlines, faster and faster they run. Richu, and I am out of breath. La'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. God, I am voting, marching, organizing. Tushbachata v'nechama. I don't know if anyone is listening, but God, the Amiran Be'alma, we are a chance worth taking. The Imru, Amen. Time, blood, thoughts, and prayers. Hey, Shlama Rabba Min Shemaya, never enough. But I can't seem to stop praying. V'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Even though I'm not sure. Imru, Amen. You are listening. Oseh Shalom. I'm sorry, may the one who makes peace in heaven. Huya aseh shalom, make peace. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, over us and over all Israel. Ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, and for all who dwell on earth. We are a chance worth taking. The Imru. Amen. For our closing song, we are going to sing a song for refugees, since I did mention Title 42. So, Jordan.
Yourself by the fire, son, and the morning will come soon. Tell you stories of a better time and the place that we once knew. Before we packed our bags and left all this behind us in the dust, we had a place that we could call home and a life no one could touch. Don't hold me up now, I can stand my own ground. I don't need your help now, you will let me down, down, down. Don't hold me up now, I can stand my own ground. I don't need your help now, let me down, 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 down. We are the angry and the desperate, the hungry and the cold. We are the ones who kept quiet and always did what we were told. But we've been sweating while you slept so calm in the safety of your home. We've been pulling out all the nails that hold up everything you have known. Don't hold me up now, I can stand my own ground. I don't need your help now, you will let me down, down, down. Don't hold me up now, I can stand my own ground. I don't need your help now, you will let me down, 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 down. So open your eyes, child, let's be on our way. Broken windows and ashes are guiding the way. Keep quiet no longer, we'll sing through the day. All the lives that we've lost and the lives we've reclaimed. Don't hold me up now, I can stand my own ground. I don't need your help Now you will let me down, down, down. Don't hold me up now. I can stand my own ground. I don't need your help now. You will let me down, 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 down.
And because Jews, no matter what happens in our lives, eat hamotzi.
There's my piece of bread on top of my microphone. Hamotzi lechem min haaretz. We give thanks to God for bread. Our voices rise in song together as our joyful prayer is said. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Hamotzi lechem min haaretz.
Thank you, Jordan, for your beautiful music this evening. I noticed that some people came a little late, and it may be that you thought the service was at 7:30. So if you want to see the rest of the service, it will be on YouTube, our YouTube channel. Just go to YouTube and type in Riverside Temple Bethel, and you will be able to see this. I don't want to leave people with a feeling of, oh my God, the world is falling apart, which it kind of is. But the point is, what's really important is that we do not give up, that we fight, that we make things better. Jews are supposed to be the Or LaGoyim, the light to the nations. That doesn't mean we're better than anybody else. All it means is that we are supposed to set a good example, and we're supposed to bring light to the world. So that is our mission, and we need to do that. And however you can do it, whether it's offering a little bit of money, or it's, going and helping people directly, or, working for, structural change, whatever it is, and whatever area that is your passion, that's what we do. We have to go out there and do it, and not just say, oh, well, throw up our hands. And we have, I'll tell you something that was one of the most powerful things I ever read. I don't remember all the details, but after World War II, right, when Germans were killing Jews, right, Germany has really done a lot of teshuvah, right, a lot of repentance for what they did. And I can't remember which German chancellor went to visit Israel in the 60s. He went to Israel to speak to the Knesset, the parliament, and Jewish policemen were making sure he was safe. Now, if that isn't an incredible reversal, I don't know what is. And that tells you that things are possible. You just have to really believe. And, we don't know the end of the story, right? There's a story in the Talmud about somebody planting a carob tree. And somebody comes along, he's planting the seeds for the carob tree. And somebody comes along and goes, but you're not going to be alive when this thing grows into a tree. And he goes, yeah, but my grandchildren will be. So we have to plant the seeds for the future, and we may not see it blossom in our lives, and that's okay, as long as we've done our share to bring more light into the world. So Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat.
Shabbat Shalom. Rabbi,
Yes.
thank you very much.